So, Mark, we have the federal Constitution, the Constitution of the United States of America, and we have the California Constitution. What's the difference?
That's really a good question, because there is a huge difference. There is a world of difference between those two documents. And here's the simple answer. The federal Constitution, and I've read it dozens and dozens of times, it's really small. I mean, it's maybe 6,500 words, 6,700 words, something like that. It's a pamphlet, basically. And there is not one word in this Constitution that says the people will not do this, the people will not do that. There isn't not one time. There isn't one section in this Constitution that says the people must do this or the people must do that. Not once, not one time. Because this document is a creation of the people. And it's a creation of the people for one reason and one reason only: to protect the rights of the government. All just power is derived from the people. Governments were formed to secure their rights. We formed the government, we the people of the United States, in order to form a more perfect union. We formed this union to protect our liberty, and there is nothing in here that binds people. Everything in here binds government. Anything the government does that isn't in this book is wrong. And the people have the right to do anything they want as long as they don't infringe on the rights of other people. So when you look at the terms right and wrong, the rights given you by God are established in the Bill of Rights, and those are rights among others. Your rights are not limited to those rights. The Declaration of Independence tells us that. It says that we hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men were created equal, and they were endowed with their Creator with certain inalienable rights, and here's the key phrase, that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. That's not all of them. That's just a partial list of them. So if those rights were given you by God, and the Bill of Rights enshrines those. In other words, the rights in the Bill of Rights are pre-constitutional. They're not dependent upon government. They weren't derived from government. They were already yours. And the people who wrote this document wanted to make sure that government was bound forever from interfering in those rights. Now, the California Constitution. The California Constitution was originally written in 1850 or so, and it was revisited in 1879 because people said, well, those guys were old fools and we're modern, we need to change a few things. Basically what we need to do is we need to get rid of the Chinese and get rid of the Mexicans and get rid of the blacks in California. That's why we need to redo the whole Constitution. And by the way, we're going to stop making more representatives as population grows, because we don't want those groups of people getting power. And we're afraid that if their population grows, they'll be able to elect their own representatives. So we need districts that are so big that their populations won't have any meaning in this state. And that's what they did. They did not want to create jobs for groups of people that they did not want to have power in the legislature. The California Constitution is around 100,000 words. 100,000 words. And it talks about things like school busing, no child may this or that, and you have to get on the bus here and get off the bus there. And they talk about things like reporters and secret sources, and no reporter may do this, but reporters may do that, and you may not do this, and you may do that. And right through the California Constitution is this ridiculousness that binds people. Now, the California Constitution might have started out all right. Article 1's okay. We're born free and independent beings. And as such, and here's where this is the important phrase, as such, we enjoy certain inalienable rights. In other words, the California Constitution says and agrees that we have inalienable rights. And among those are possessing, pursuing, and protecting your property. Well, how can you protect your property without a weapon? Are you going to stand there and just shake a fist at an armed intruder? I mean, what are you going to do if someone's assaulting your wife in your home? Are you just going to say, no, Article 1, Section 1 says I can protect this property, go away now? You know, that phrase is hollow in California, it's empty, because we have no Second Amendment. And the Second Amendment is in this Constitution, and it is enshrined forever, a pre-constitutional view that every human being, every creature has the right to defend himself and his family. That was acknowledged before any governments were ever on this planet. I don't care if you were in a caveman tribe. It was acknowledged that if anyone assaulted you or your family or your tribe, you had the absolute right to protect yourself and others around you. Well, in the California Constitution, you don't have that right. You have an outright ban against the open carry of an operable and loaded weapon.
Wow.
You have an outright ban against the open carry of an unloaded weapon. And you have a state that says you must ask the government's permission to arm yourself in a concealed manner. In other words, hide your gun under your coat like a coward. And if they give you permission because you have a good enough reason to have that gun, well, who decides? Well, I'll tell you what, it isn't you, it's them. If they decide you have a good enough reason, then they may, and that's what the law says. They may give you a government permission slip where you could acquire a weapon and you could carry that weapon hidden. Only in California, you have no right to open carry a weapon, none.